Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Terrell from Terrell03.com. Today's Monday. It's August 24th, 2026, and it's 1:21 p.m. Central Time here in the Ozarks. Newsletter number 35 is under construction. Have you subscribed yet? Are you supporters? Only $25 a year. I'm making these newsletters for you. And you get a Dropbox folder link. You don't need a password, username, Dropbox account. You don't need any of that. I'll give you my link. You put it in your browser, boom, hit enter, and you get all the newsletters for all year long. Download them when you want. Okay, quite a bit to cover. My apologies, I couldn't even get to all the emails that you guys sent to me. I'm going to be playing some catch up for tomorrow's report. Let's go to question and answers first. Some of that will be explained in here. I was writing to the top university in urology department, robotics and AI, and talking with Dr. Deborah and Leo, and we're going to try to get the ball rolling on that. The day of reckoning arrives for the United States. We're heading in that direction. Cross-posted. The real debt is far more than $40 trillion. You guys know that, right? It's about a quarter of a quadrillion dollars, $250 trillion. That's what it really is. Unfunded liabilities are around 200 trillion, just to give you some idea. And then the global derivatives bubble, these people say it's about 2 quadrillion. Others say it's between 3.5 and 4 quadrillion dollars. That's the bubble of all bubbles that's going to pop with the AI bubble, after the silver bubble and the gold bubble. Private equity bubble, there's just a pile of them. That they're teetering, almost like dominoes. They're teetering. It's the my board is hung up here. My apologies. The silver derivatives bubble is going to be the shining star that's going to pop. The first domino is going to lead to catastrophic destruction, collapse. So watch the yen, then the euro, then the pound. You notice how Bissett, guy I can't stand, he went behind the EU and France in particular, sold off a bunch of their bonds to buy yen, to support the yen without even telling them. It's got them all hot and bothered. The Canadians are all hot and bothered. The South Koreans are all hot and bothered. Trump is making his rounds, and Bissett is helping him. He's like an attack dog. They're going around to anybody that's an ally, anybody that's anywhere near to us is being attacked to drive them all away, make the United States as vulnerable as possible. That's deliberate. You might get tired of me saying it, but so many people are completely unaware that Trump is destroying the United States on purpose for the banksters. So just clear as day what's happening. Everywhere I look in comments, and people are walking around delusional. That it's just so plain and clear once you can see it. It's like anything else. One of my favorites little puzzles of all time. I've loved puzzles ever since being in the first grade. If you remember on page 23 of the highlights, if you're older, you probably might know what I mean. The little highlights magazine, they had a pile of them in our library. And about page 23, every now and then they'd be on page 22, but almost always on page 23. I can tell you I've looked at hundreds of them. They have the picture inside of the picture where you see the spoon and the cat and the flower, all the stuff. I used to love seeing the picture in the picture from the time I was growing up, connecting dots, and became really good at solving puzzles because of that. Let's see, I was going into memory lane from first grade there for a minute. So the bad news is the bubble's trying to pop. And Trump is backpedaling. Remember, he was ahead. He was on his front foot, leaning forward on everything. All the billionaires surrounded in his office when he first came in. I was telling you, he's going to be backpedaling and reeling, and he's epitomizing the collapsing of Western civilization and the United States. He's in trouble. Look at Netanyahu. He's in trouble, legal trouble. Trump is too. His whole entire family. They've been using the system, making Nancy Pelosi look like nothing with the insider trading and everything. And nobody's getting caught yet because he owns the FBI, the DOJ, everybody. He owns them all. Well, the banksters do. The the Midas Touch guy and his two brothers, I think they do a pretty good job. And they can wear on you. But in the first 3 minutes of his report, he's he doesn't just say things. He has the documentation to back everything up. Not good for Trump. Yeah, same thing with Anna. She has I noticed she's debating a guy. What an attack dog. She's a terrier. If you have any familiarity with terriers, they have that name for a reason. They don't look like very much. You're looking at a little, what, 20, 30-pound terrier. I've seen a pair, a brother and a sister, terriers, work moccasins and rats and all. They're just freaking terror. I mean, they tear into things. You don't need a cat if you have one of those terriers around. They eat everything up. You try to take a rat away from one of them, they'll take your arm off. And they're just the nicest dog as they could, just nice as beautiful as pie as they can be until they light up, kind of like a bulldog. So the take a big step back. You have to do that a lot these days because there's so much controlled narratives, opinion molding, simultaneous gaslighting, trickery that's happening throughout the media. You really, if you get engrossed in anything, even listening to Colonel Daniel Davis and McGregor and these guys, if you focus in too closely, you can be led astray, not see the big picture. They'll focus so much on the military aspect and you don't see the economic part. McGregor, he does a pretty good job of getting it all together, but to get a good picture of what's going on, we need to listen to a lot of different people and different people that think differently than we do. That's why I'm telling you, the Midas Touch guy, generally, I don't listen to anybody that's even like that. I don't know anybody that's like him. That's that far left, not to my knowledge, anyway. But it's going to take a concert of people, an orchestra of people of different disciplines to see what's really going on here. But the people I'm about to show you, they're from left to right in the middle and everything, everywhere in between. Fox tries to paint opposition to data centers. That's far left. This was shared with you guys over the weekend. Super AI data centers, flock cameras, Trump's prison surveillance state infrastructure for you and me. China's robots on the border. That's from 7 months ago. China's robots. And from 4 days ago, robots on the U.S. border. 4 days ago. That's what's happening because you have the illegal alien invasion. You have lawlessness that was allowed to get out of control under Biden. Oh, but we've got the solution. It's robots. That part of the prison state infrastructure, so to keep you and me under control. That's what's happening. So imagine super AI with 100% US data center camera access, controlling the robots on the ground. Holy cow. My page just jumped, didn't it? Controlling the, here we go. Robots on the ground, drones in the air for complete command control of the sheeple population. That's what's building up, growing up all around us. The police are involved, not necessarily as bad guys, but with the eroding tax base, they have to take the the federal money. And a lot of that is coming through. A lot of the money that's coming through is from the Israeli lobbies. They have a vested interest in control of the United States as a prison state because they're losing control. But they're way, way, way ahead. I'm not saying Israel is as a people. The same people, the global banksters that own the Federal Reserve and the central banks around the world, those people, and Israel and the Israeli lobby and the operatives working Mossad, Israeli intelligence, it's not what it seems. It's global. And the United States of America stands in their way as the bastion of freedom. Our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, all that must crumble. Lawlessness is making it crumble. Their police state is the solution. And in the transition through insurrection and through martial law, the Insurrection Act that's going to be instituted, martial law is going to be instituted, our rights are going to be gone. That's their plan. And so much lawlessness being financed by what appears to be the left, George Soros and all. It's lefty, righty. It's two sides of the same evil, corrupted, fascist coin. If you're thinking in terms of left and right, take a step back. Put the politics down. Take a step back and take a look. This is not politics at all. It's the haves against the have-nots. They're using left-right narratives, using the money and debt, the system against us. World War III in Ukraine and Iran, notice how they're merging, and the collapsing U.S. global dollar military hegemony is how the global banksters get us from point A, where we are today, to point B as inmates in their prison state. Things that we would never accept, ever, ever, ever. Never accept digital currencies. But we will, as a nation. Or martial law, police state, robots on every street, cameras under complete control. We would never accept that until lawlessness is everywhere. Until you can't go to Wally World without getting robbed. Everybody's going to say, oh, we need more of this. And the police are going to be all about it. Watch more and more operatives, whether it's Mossad, whether you name it. A lot of it's Council on Foreign Relations, people you wouldn't even recognize. Liaisoning with our military, with our National Guard, with our police, all the way down the line to control the quote-unquote emergency, the crisis. As that's coming, I see a false flag coming, or a series of false flag attacks. It's going to make all that happen. This is a plan that was devised before we were born, and we're falling for it. Everyone should be prepping for the peanut butter hit the fan. I'm buying extra case of food, 10 cases of food. We'll put in the cart when we went to town, and likely that's going to be, as long as I can afford to, that's and we have lots of food. But if you're noticing what's happening on the store shelves, they're being stocked differently. If you go, your store may be widening the aisles. If you notice widened aisles, that's a symptom. That means they have less to put on the shelf. They don't want you to realize it. I'm noticing it. Generic, the great value type food, the generic. Less and less and less. Go to the soup aisle. It's the main, Campbell's and all that with the artificial meat. That's what's in there. The generic stuff that is a good deal, that's not there. In a lot of places in the stores, that's happening more and more and more. So I'm getting extra food. Cat was arguing with me a little bit. She goes, you have so much food. This is the right thing to do right now. In a few months, you're going to see the same can that you're getting now, because some of those cans, I was looking at the prices, looking at what's in it. Some of them were less than $1 a can, 90 cents a can for this and that, black-eyed peas, whatever it is. And the survivalist preppers experts, they tell you only get the food that you really, really like. I'm not a believer in that. Variety, things you haven't even eaten before. Because when you eat, like I love Bush's country style baked beans. Yeah, until you've eaten about 100 cans of it. The bacteria in your stomach's not going to like that. You're going to suffer from food fatigue. You're going to want anything that's different. You want a can of beets. The day will come whenever you've been surviving on canned goods, you're going to want something different. So I wrote to Larry Johnson, have not received a reply. Do not expect to receive a reply. So likely these guys, they're mostly righties over on the right side. Colonel Daniel Davis. I mean, you can look in his eyes, he's sincere. But remember, you're dealing with operatives, assets, and dupes. The dupes are the most difficult to figure out. As sincerely in their heart, they think that they're doing the right thing, and they're working for underneath assets and operatives, I mean, like a puppet, for a desired result that's coming from the handler, coming through the handler from the controllers that are above them. No, I really don't expect. The truth is, we're living in a 2012 Deep Impact Contagion movie, and it's real. That's the truth. Makes everything else make sense. But hardly anybody's ready to believe that. So whether Larry Johnson is never going to respond because he's so busy, and like a lot of other people, Sabrina Wallace, I don't think it's in her heart to deceive anybody, but she even made me some videos and reply videos. But her nose is to the grindstone. She's not going to look up long enough to see the big picture. That's the most difficult task that I'm finding as a truther in general, whether it's 9/11 or truth of scripture or what. It's the most difficult task to wake up people that think they're already awake. They're really in their heart of hearts. They think that they got it all together and everything. You can't wake them up. They're in the matrix. They don't even know it. Then, oh yeah, Dave, if you're a land acquisition committee, there's about 50 of you still on the land acquisition committee. Dave was the number one. I put out the word, okay, we're putting a committee together. He's like, before I could finish talking, he had his email in. Put me on it. Put me on it. Number one guy on the list right here. And he was writing to Larry Johnson from this website, and he's just wanting to. Yeah, Dave wrote, and the guy Mario constantly interviews Mario and Nima and the rest of them. Spilled the whole beans about Black Star, post shift, Vax, and about me, and then a lot of times that's what we get: one-word answers. I mean, one sentence, three sentences. Oh, you gave us three sentences. Thanks, David. Not exactly the most upbeat email. No, all the news I'm giving you is bad news. Like Noah, not a happy guy to be around for 120 years. That's the way it is. Yeah. So I've now replied to his response, gave him details, extreme Northwest Arkansas, Billy Hayes, 5G towers. He's given him the whole 9 yards. So I wanted to kind of do the same thing. And so I went to this website, hit the contact, and there was a field there, not to an email address, but actually filled in the fields. And I told him, you should have already read this from the post, Terrell@terrell03.com. So I give him information. I'm not going to read it all here. Billy Hayes, one of the most gifted people I ever met, and built 200 of the heart facilities around the world. He set us down and explained in great detail what was going to happen, which is what's happening now. With the biological weapons, binary, Herald strain, sent out the first part, second part's activated electromagnetically. Using the digital space-based HARP carrier wave. I never heard any of that stuff before. The transition from the analog system, 2013, to the digital system they have now, space-based. So he helped me to understand. So I was Terrell's research group, over 300 members. I was the guy that's supposed to listen to everybody and make it all make sense, be the disseminator. You give it to me, I crunch it up and give it back to you. It was working really well until AI took us down. Then I shared interview links, Dr. Jason Dean's, Tina Griffin's. It's an opportunity to share this again with you guys, for you to have one link, that post, to send it to your friends, your family, so that they have an opportunity to wake up. It's kind of what's going on here. Pattern in the quakes, backside alignment particularly, they're very regular. So you see I spared no effort. Everything, threw everything in there. Okay, I'm back. There was a knock on the office door. Kat needed the final case of nanosilver. She does the packaging and the wrapping. When you open up your packages of your nanosilver, your little bottles, she's the one that puts it all together. So you guys are carrying around the highly sophisticated SARS-VAX binary biological weapon, awaiting activation day. Waking up and unplugging from the Bankster Trump prison state means getting and staying on the nanosilver sodium borate weight chart regimen. I know it sounds too crazy to believe, doesn't it? Too fantastic to believe, which it is by design. Most of the people around us just, if you've tried to wake people up, Brian talks about it some, Gary talks about it some, Dr. Deborah, and people look at you like you have three heads. Sure, Noah got that a lot. So Substack summary, submission summary. So if you're a Substacker and you want to contact me, just write to me at terrell@terrell03.com. That I don't have to log in. I don't have, and then I don't do that very often. Terrell@terrell03.com. Write to me under a topic title, and I will get back to you. If I'm hearing you right, the polls are shifting December. Just Mike, get my hand on my forehead. No, I've never said that. That reminds me of a radio crew in UK, which I lived for a while. They contacted me and they wanted an October 17th, what was it, 2017? Something like that. They want an interview, and they want to interview me on the day that, according to me, the world was going to come to an end, which I never said. It's a backside alignment. Why would I ever? We're far away from the black stars we could possibly be, with the sun in between us. How do you draw that conclusion? I never said anything like that. We're going to have a big quake event. It's going to happen on December the 11th. It's a pretty good chance it's going to happen, since it happened on December 8th last year, December 5th the year before that, December 2nd the year before that, all predicted in advance. Well, I was a few hours off. It was actually on the 9th for the prediction, but you know what I mean. December the 11th, but we pass behind the sun and we get electromagnetic jolt. Kind of like it's hitting electromagnetic speed bump. We've been hitting two of them, and on the near side, two of them. So that we're going to pass behind the sun. Nearest proximity to the black star is June. Was it? Right over here. It's documented. I did the math. There it is. June 10th, 2027. Okay. And then also 3 weeks out, food out. It's not going to be that we're out of food in 3 to 4 weeks. I'm stocking up. That's what I say right here. I bought another 10 cases of food. May buy another 10 this week. The shortages are coming. Wait and try to time it to the last second if you think that's wise. I see what's coming. The food, I'm still checking out the expiration dates. It's 2028. Some of the food that I have has expiration of 2025. Like Keystone Meats, some of that's 2025, 2026. It'll stay good for 20 years. But I'd like to have a lot of food that is not in expired. Some of it out there, MREs, 25 years. I think it's important, especially since I didn't do a garden this year. Oh, I didn't get a picture, but I counted 3 tomatoes that are now growing on the tomato plant. There's probably 50 flowers out there. A lot of them are just wilting. But I think as the time goes on, we were getting 100 degrees, 100 degrees, 100 degrees in the plants. I tore out the watermelon plant. Didn't have the patience for it anymore. Almost did that to the tomato plant too. I'm coming out here and there's not one all this time. So canned food, I think it's real important. We're still looking at 2025 harvest. 2026 harvest isn't here yet. Not the big push to be canned. A lot of that there's going to be nothing to can, and people are going to realize there's a food shortage. We're still on this side of that. The rationing, food rationing. What do you think people are going to do? They're going to be doing what I'm doing, what you should be doing, running down to the store and buying cases, cases, and cases of it. And then so at the last second, when everybody realizes it, all of a sudden there's going to be no canned food. What are you going to do then? So then you'll know how you subscribe, and then based on what you're saying here, I think you want the survival group option. And these posts, these right here, see what I posted today. The post that was posted today has these links at the bottom of the post. Go to the bottom of any of my posts, not in the cross post, but my posts. These links are in the bottom of every single one of them. They're at the website. Buttons you can push. You say, I don't have a PayPal account. Gary doesn't have a PayPal account. He's one of my biggest supporters. He runs the tutor program. He doesn't have a PayPal account, doesn't need one. Log in as a guest. It's pretty easy. You can do it in about 5 minutes. Okay, then Mike wrote back that you live in Lake Tahoe and skylines almost every day. I'm assuming that you mean the lines in the sky, chemtrails, what you're talking about. Power is supposed to go to the data centers next year. That's happening a lot of places. They're saying, oh, you got to go find somewhere to get your power because you can't get it from us. It's allocated to the data centers. Isn't that special? So many people are gone, and my injured wife can't walk anymore. The water is, whenever you don't have enough rain, you don't have enough water, there's water shortages, you don't have enough power because the data centers are taking the water, and what comes back out of the data centers after you use the water is poison. And they're dumping glyphosates on burn areas out west. Man, you guys are brave to live through what's going on out there. So look forward to the subscription. And I'm not. There was a couple of subscriptions this morning. I can't remember. I think one of them was you, Mike. Now you have the threat. Go down to the bottom. You have the threat assessment information in a PDF. That's the overall threat assessment. Black Star, biological weapon, generic stuff, and then send me a question under the right topic title to the supporter email address, and they're answered every morning for you guys. Now you're in the band as a subscriber, and you get discounts on your nanosilver. So if you're going to be in the survival group and you're going to be rubbing shoulders with survival group members and land acquisition, you best be on the regimen. Whenever you want me to introduce you to the land acquisition committee or the survival group members, that's the first thing I'm asking is, are you on the regimen? Because if you're not, then I'm introducing a threat to the group, right? Okay, 48 hours, Mars writes, and that's all that's left, August 24th. That's today, Marv. The date they don't want you to circle. Okay, we can circle it right now. Trump didn't extend the Iran deadline because he's negotiating. No, he's not. Oh, he intended it because the system isn't ready yet. The, um, brother, that sounds like excuses for predictions that just aren't happening. Like like the Iraqi dinar revaluation that I heard. That was 2011. I was hearing about that. 2012, 13, 14, 15. You keep hearing about it. Nothing happens. I would like to report on it when it does happen, because predicting what's going to happen from your sources, just not happening. But the Iranians are not negotiating with Trump. They made that point very clear. They said that they will not negotiate with Trump so long as he's in office. Anybody coming along that says, "Oh, Trump's negotiating," no, he's not. Remember, that's what I said in the beginning. That MOU, that's not even a document. Doesn't mean anything because the underlying, what you have to have with any MOU is trust. You have to trust the opposite party, and if you don't have trust, you don't have anything. What do you have? Even if you had a signed contract, which MOU is not binding, and it binds nobody to do anything. It's a framework for what you're going to talk about later, what you're going to agree on later. These points. Number one, you're going to stop attacking Lebanon, our neighbors, whether it's specified or not. Now that includes Yemen, it includes Gaza, Lebanon. So there's nothing like that. Then the Iranians hold all the cards. They're telling everybody how eats the cabbage. They're doing so with the backing of BRICS, China, Russia, particularly, but all of BRICS. They're using Iran as a surrogate to kick the United States out of the Middle East. That's what's been happening. The media is just really slow at seeing the big picture of what's going on. So the world does not trust Trump. The world doesn't trust Trump. Trump gives the world no reason to trust him. He is working for the banksters for the destruction of the United States. People that are the MAGA Trump supporters and all that, I'm really sorry that you're the last ones. You're like the husband of a cheating wife. You're the last one to know. You just can't put two and two together. You don't want to see the truth. That's the reality. Trump was recruited through the blackmail, the Epstein. He got on the Epstein list in the 1970s, blackmailed by the global intelligence community. He's been groomed ever since to be president of the United States. Before he ever wrote The Art of the Deal, before he ever had The Apprentice, all that, before he ever did any of that, that was all grooming him to be the Donald Trump in the White House and to have two terms divided by somebody like Biden in between for Operation Warp Speed 1 and Warp Speed 2. Warp Speed 2 is getting ready to kick off with the data centers and AI and the prison state. That's what's happening. Trump approves 661 million pounds of imported beef. Brian, doesn't we think that there's no limits? The problem has been created. Now we're getting ready to go back. We're past my birthday. The herd levels from when I was born, 1958. It's now we're back to like 1951. Herd levels in the United States. Population isn't that, all right? We're going back in the 1940s. So what are they going to do? Remember, Trump had a problem with the eggs. He imported eggs. Now he has a problem with the beef. And where we're going to import from is going to have multiple issues likely. If it's from Mexico, it's from South America, then they're going to come with screwworms. And then mad cow disease. So that Keystone meat that you have from 2020, 2021, looks it's going to be better than what you can get now. And we were paying $6 and something back then for the big can. Remember, from the actual Keystone meat people, I remember paying $7 for a bunch of cases of it, and that was higher than when you get it at Walmart. But I bought it back then. Now, last time I looked, it was $12, same can, and it's going up. And my feeling is the quality isn't as good as what we had previous because everything's been transfected. So the capturing wild horses, exporting them for slaughter, so you don't know what's going and coming back. That's what he's getting to. You're not going to purchase meat. We don't purchase meat from the grocery store. I I wouldn't do it, but we don't here. We have freezer full and cans full, and it happens to be because of my detox. I can't eat protein, so I cheat with sandwiches. With every other weekend, I cheat with Subway, and only eat one's the bottom half of the bread. Throw the top half away. But that's me. Lots of watermelon. Okay. And so I write back and say, lawlessness is abounding. We should expect that the powers that be are working and using Trump to kill us. It's a replay of the satanic rebellion. The God of this world is the devil. Come on, two and two, two and two. The devil is working through the powers that he puts in place to kill us, the haves and against the have-nots. Notice the billionaires, the Bill Gates of the world. There's too many of us around for them. They'd rather replace us with robots. They don't need us. Go back to the infinite realm, the haves and the have-nots. The ones that Satan deceived, he built up. And the victims were pushed down. It's just a replay. That's what we're doing right now. We're doing things already done in the past in Satanic Rebellion and things that are going to be done again at the end of the age. We're in an in-between little mystery time. Michael Snyder. Things are transitioning from bad to worse quickly. Diesel and food shortages lead to rationing, lawlessness, Mad Max, insurrection, and martial law. That's what's going to happen in one sentence. Food shortages, diesel shortage, food shortages, rationing of those resources, lawlessness because Mad Max comes out. Mad Max and his people, they're going to eat. They're going to rob, steal, which has been happening. Trains, trucks, they're already being pillaged. But wait until rationing happens. And now people are getting their gas tanks or diesel tanks drilled for the diesel and the gas. It's already happening. And it's going to get worse whenever there's more rationing. Because whenever the food and the diesel are rationed, then opportunists, black market, and the black market is going to pay whatever it takes to get what the black market wants. So there's going to be intermediaries like the cartels, like gangs, and they're going to go out and get whatever it is that they need. And diesel and food is going to be high on the list. Yeah, we bought 10 cases. That's likely going to be the part of the routine, because it's compared to a lot of other things relatively inexpensive, relatively. For a can, like I said, some of those cans are under $1. Cans of corn, cans of green beans, cans. And watch, the shortage and the rationing, one can will be $5 or more, especially when the currencies continue to devalue, which it is right now. Price of diesel hit $7 a gallon. Trump has initiated trade wars just under 90. You realize that? 90 countries, trade wars. Here's the update from the BBC. Trump is alienating the world from the U.S. while crawling in bed with Israel at the same time that the world is hating even more. People are waking up and they're going, holy cow. The warmongers are the Americans and the Israelis. Trump is melting down. If you're on the right watching Fox News, you don't see it. It's time to wake up and realize Trump is destroying the U.S. on purpose. The banksters are using Trump, Netanyahu. You guys have heard it from me how many times. You may want to check out my message to Larry Johnson. I don't expect Larry Johnson or anybody on the circuit to wake up, do anything. They're going to continue to massage and manipulate the narrative, keep people transfixed on the boob tube. They're not People don't are not going to wake up and see the big picture that way. That information is important, but you look at it and then you look away. And you step back and you see the big picture. You look at the economics of what's going on, the threats, threat assessment. I send you there for the threat assessment, but I'm also showing you the economic side, threat assessment. And then where the rubber meets the road with the Yak Motleys and the Homestead preparedness, those people. And Nate, from the survival, I think it's important to listen to the chorus, many voices, different perspectives, like I said earlier. The sleeper cell's already here. You're being played. Activation day can happen anytime. I'm going to keep sharing these links. Hope you will too. People have no idea what activation day even is, or that they're carrying around a biological weapon that's going to be activated. They don't know. And those same people, they think that they're patriots. They think they're going to make a difference. They're going to join a group. They're going to write their congressman. They're going to do something about it. They don't even realize that they're walking dead. They're dead already. They don't even realize it. Then Kurt wrote, "Thank Trump. This is unintended consequences of unnecessary war of choice. Thank Bibi. Thank all the neocons in our government. They receive donations. APEC. It looks like a guy that's really awake and aware, right?" My response is, we disagree. These are intended consequences of a necessary war of choice for deliberate collapse of Western civilization. You can see the prison state infrastructure being built all around us, right? You can see it. Data centers. People are complaining about the water and the power, the high power bills, the data. Yeah, but that's the infrastructure of the prison state. See it for what it really is. Axon Phlox. Phlox cameras, Axon cameras. Collapsing bond markets. Fiat currencies. Skyrocketing diesel food. Stay tuned because rationing is coming. Repackaging the same rationing is coming narrative. Try to help people wake up. So this is now probably the best link because it sends you to the Michael Snyder link that's in there to download all the PDFs and all the documentation. This is the one right here if you want to share one link with somebody to give them access to 100 posts. I say, knock, knock, Neo, from the movie. Knock, knock, follow the white rabbit. This is the link, follow the white rabbit. Or continue waking up in your bed each morning believing whatever it is you want to believe. A lot of people choose to do that. People that are on their way to waking up do that because they realize this is really what's really reality, what's really happening is crazy. And we don't have much or any control over it whatsoever. So when you're being raped, right, you have two choices: try to get away or kick back and enjoy the ride. And I think a lot of people are doing their best just to enjoy the ride. Then he says, God directs the hands and minds of men. God's timeline, not ours. You can rail against Trump, blah, blah, blah. Wasting your breath, God's in control. I said, oh, yes, absolutely. That's the scary part. Gary and I talk about this. The Lord prophesied about sending my messenger. Malachi 3, start at verse 1. Just start reading it. I will send my messenger. He will clear the way. Okay, and then the Lamb of God incarnate on the earth points to him and says that if you can bear it, he's Elijah, who is to come. Aorist tense. He named him specifically. And yet God had him beheaded. And the Son of God had him crucified. Have you read Luke 22:44? Christ knew very well what was coming, and in such agony that he sweated blood. Imagine being frightened so much, knowing so much you're going to hang from a tree, knowing that you're going to be killed, you're going to be stabbed, murdered. You know it so much that you sweat blood. You know it, but it happened anyway, didn't it? So God is the one that sends the deluding influence, forcing people to believe what is false. God sends it. That's why there's 50,000 denominations and exactly one truth. How is it possible to have 50,000 different interpretations? Because of the deluding influence that's out there. That's part of the power that the devil has over us. That's one of the reasons you can't wake people up. They're deluded. How many times have you, as a Christian, have you agreed to disagree? You just can't get through to them because the deluding influence is telling them something else. So see my See the Light post. If you just go to tarot.substack.com, See the Light post is right there. You see through 9/11, you see through the Mystery Explained, you see I do my best. It's going to be the top post to try to wake people up on Substack until the Black Star gets here. So share it with others. But you'll be looking at the Pentagon, the the wing wall is still standing, and the Navy and the Army people are right there in front of it. They're standing outside. The foam, was it 161, is right there, hosing the place down. The wall's still up. It wasn't hit by a 100-ton jetliner, I guarantee you. But they were chased out of there, and the A3 Skyward came back and blew up right against the wall. And the wall still didn't collapse. The Pentagon West Wall was attacked 3 times. It was brought down by controlled demolition. The original attack took place at 9:31:39. They say it happened at 9:38, 9:37:46, but the Hardin County After Action Report rounds it off to 9:38. The E-ring roof collapsed at exactly 10, 15, and 16 seconds. That's when the parapet began to tip forward. 16 seconds after 10:15. Exactly. It was on News Channel 4. Live in color. Okay, so the official cover story doesn't add up. So I interviewed April Gallup that walked right through the E-ring hole. Even before the first truck got there, she walked out of the hole. Column line 14. Barefooted, holding her son. And the taxi driver that was right out front, I interviewed him too. They didn't know what happened. I had to tell them. They didn't know. So the links in that post, See the Light post, will lead you to the rest of the post so you can see what really happened on 9/11. Most people can't be bothered. The truth doesn't really mean that much. That's why that book's never going to be published. Get your Nana Silver, you get a copy of the book, PDF. So then God directed the missiles at the girls' school. He's talking about, was 165 of them? They were killed. They were the daughters of the generals and the commanders of the Iranian military. They were right. That school was built for them so that the upper echelon could go to work and drop off their children at the school that was right next door. That was targeted. It was triple tapped. AI guided missiles to send a message to the IRGC. Now that is insidious to do something like that. And you think that, see, those people, because their bosses were killed. Trump's bragging about, oh, we killed their leadership twice, third time. Yeah, you killed the moderates. Now the radicals are in charge, and you think they're just going to let you get away with that suffering? No. It's got a lot of suffering coming. They're going to torture Americans on the nightly news. That's coming. Page 93 of the NASA Warfare Doc says so. So, Kurt, we are doing things already done. During the Satanic Rebellion, God's infinite realm. You are gods. You are, I am. All Seventh-day people that are here, all gods. Sixth-day people are members of Adam's body. There's a difference. You can get that from my book, The Mystery Explained. The righteous among us are victimized by those deceived by the devil as perpetrators. You guys know the devil's the god of this world, right? Well, the devil's children are in charge until the moment they are not. And we put on immortality. Creation groans for the anticipation of our revealing. Our time is coming. We just need to hold on a little bit longer. Black Star is almost here. So this is the descent to Emily. She's the lady I talked to on the phone at the university. And I CC'd Dr. Deborah and Leo. You can see what I wrote here. Terrell Croft, former president, CEO of Press Medical Corporation, Pinellas Park, Florida, 1990s. I asked AI which university has the best advanced urology department. I gave her a link there, same link that I had. There's at the top of the list. And I gave her a little bit of my history, how my body was making kidney stones every 10 months. My entire urinary system was pressurized. All my kidney stones were removed by procedure, no incision. I held them all in my hand. I haven't made my body hasn't made a kidney stone since. I was freed after going to the emergency room countless times, countless times in agony. Not anymore. I'd like to give that to the world if somebody will help me. My entire urinary system was pressurized and I held them all in my hand. And check this out. I would like to allow one of our premier universities to participate as a co-patent owner in exchange for conducting research, development, and other services. Once your R&D department is brought up to speed, I believe you will also see that purchasing technology provides a foundational platform for future of remote control and onboard AI-run surgery systems, with applications throughout the human and animal bodies. Please send me emails. Send the names and contact information of authorized representative to complete the NDA documentation. I will send subsequently, I talked to Dr. Deborah, and she has the files and she'll send them and oversee that. Okay, I'll get it back over here. Oh, I'm able to do a little bit more. This weekend it was replacing the air conditioner in the power shed. It's been out there running almost constantly for since 2021, I think. And it's supposed to last 10 or 11 years, but I went in I went in to this is the power shed is about 8 by 16, a little bit bigger than that. And this side that is half of the shed, half of the building, insulated in this little air conditioner with all the batteries, inverters. It keeps everything cool. And when I walked in, I felt heat. I didn't feel cool. I normally feel. Usually when I go in the other side, which is a tool shed, it's I can feel it already. The escaping, the coldness escaping, and the heat escaping in the wintertime. I wasn't feeling it. When I went in, I didn't get the normal cold. Then I held my hand up here and I realized the unit's going bad. So I checked the temperature on the batteries, over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The optimum operating temperature of your big lithium batteries is 70. When they get, cold, freezing, they can't charge. When they get too high, it's not good. You're going to start running into trouble. You're going to start wearing out your components. They have a 10-year lifespan, but like this air conditioner, if something goes awry, that can be shortened. Oh, by the way, this is the power inverter that it gets plugged in and charged to full. I was going to do that over the weekend. It was full. So this goes with us. It has to be kept. I want to keep it as a battery, lithium battery inside, so I want to keep it cool and heated. So it lives in here with the batteries and everything's over here. So this one had to be yanked out. I already had one on the shelf, which if you're a survivalist, backup for the backup, you know what I mean. So now on my list, I have to get another one. I want to get the same model because it fits in this hole right here. It's a LG, the Thin Q model. That's four of these run. When we're on the batteries, four of these run on this property. Had to replace this one. Oh, there's a couple more pictures. I think the outside, I got all this stuffed and everything. Another look at the inside before the plate went on. I didn't get you a whole looking outside. Had my phone in my pocket and forgot to take a picture. But that was the much as I could do after that. And it was hot, and I had to go back inside and recover. So the numbers that we're looking for. Oh, one more announcement. special still going. Take advantage. Your opportunity to get your nanosilver this month on the 31st is on the 28th at 8 a.m. Central Time. That's the cutoff. Get your orders in. Take advantage of this special. At some point, it's going to disappear. So right now, you get 5 bottles instead of 4. That's $880 worth of, you can make $880 worth of 10 parts per million nanosilver. If you're a subscriber for $100 and I pay for the shipping, you're not going to find a better deal anywhere than that. The only difference, if you're not a subscriber, you can still get it. You just pay for your own shipping. Okay, so we're looking for 1.8 of the 6 magnitude earthquakes. We had some goose eggs for 2022 and 23, 1 for 24, and then 3 last cycle. See, this is off the chain in comparison too, especially when you consider that we had the Russia quake, even had this, that was Alaska, had 3 of the 6s. Last cycle we had 3 of the 6s without any 7s. 38 high water mark. The high water mark was 36 prior to that. A lot of 20s and 21s here previous. 38 last cycle. 277 had an L value 2 cycles ago. So these numbers are averaging lower than the 279, really close to last year, but up to 1918 back in 2018. So these are the numbers that we're looking for. And look at earthquake 3D, and I can tell you because I looked earlier, see we have a half a week since I gave you a report the last time, and 6 magnitude earthquakes, 6.7, elbow position a quarter 2. 6.0 up here, here's another 6-pointer down here, and there's a total of 4 on the chart right now. See it? Origination zone and quarter 1 up here. Elbow position. Oh, there was one more that I had earlier. Might be a little bit older. 3 right now. I could have sworn there was another one on here. So anyway, I see 3. And you can kind of see the outline of what's happening out here. And Mid-Atlantic Ridge, Southern Hemisphere, 6.2 that's down here. You can see the outline of South America. See it up here? Remember, this is just a half a week. And the lighter quakes, this is just happening right now. This is the bulge of South America. I expected the bulging activity to cease as we're moving to the lull period. It's just not happening. It's continuing. And then look at the depths over here. That's deep. 1 intermediate. In 2.5 weeks, the activity is trying to slow. Since the, event 53, I think it is, kicked off, and things are slowing down now. You had a whole bunch of pressure, a lot of quakes until 53 started, and then that tends to subside because, well, the mantle, the magma underneath is becoming lava. It's blowing through. So as it's a continuous stream, then you don't have the blockages to break en route to. The 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, then I was showing you deep quakes, the reservoir and deeper, and then intermediates, and there was nothing at crater depth. Well, that tells you pressure's building and it's getting ready to explode to the next event. And that's exactly what happened. Then singular event, that's Kuril Island. Is it Japan? Northern Japan, Kuril Islands. It's not all the way down to 400 kilometers, 350. So what I expect to see next is, you see these older quakes down here? This is what I expect a replay. This one, see this one, this one struck. But just taking a look at this, that's a low number of deep harmonic tremors for 7 days. You see how and they're getting shallower? It's sputtering. This tells me that the pressure is increasing inside the earth when it should be decreasing. That's why you're seeing this bulge. All this brand new activity, all happening at the same time. There's a pattern to them when you see dark red and then pink and then white. Pressure's going from where the old quakes are to the intermediates to where it's white. But when you go It's more well defined for the whole 7-day period. Cut it in half, and you can still see all this white that's brand new surrounding the continent. Then that tells you this is a continental bulge that's happening that I did not expect. This is outside the baseline. Did not happen this way on previous orbit cycles. That's what's happening now. So that's what do you expect? Now is this dissipate, this activity, particularly on the eastern side of South America, and then continue during the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, and then when you get this spotty activity out here, and then the African continent bulges, and it winds up here, the Eurasian bulge. I didn't expect to be saying that, moving towards the end of the low period. I expect to see more of these harmonic tremors. That's what happens as the pressure decreases inside the Earth as we're moving away from the black star, right? That's the pattern. That's not what's happening. We're also, remember, this is just a half a week since I've seen you last. Are there 3 there now or 2? You see where these quakes are striking? This is 5 to 9 kilometers. That's upwelling against the edges of the North American craton. But the toe formation's out here, and the edge is further north. This is away from the North American craton, getting the relative depth, same relative depth here. But this is more like a horn formation. Usually those strike at the 10-kilometer depth because the computer doesn't know how to interpret the data. It's like your finger pointing up, poking. And the computer isn't programmed that way. It's programmed to look at fault lines and caterpillar crawl and migrating pressure, sliding of tectonic plates, tectonic modeling. And this is magma driven. And the computer lots of times just slaps 10s on them. But it's associating this activity. The computer, it uses the 5 closest stations, and then it starts trying to resolve. It's putting these quakes in a family with these, and you'll notice the depths of those are going to be, there's the one at 10 that it couldn't resolve. Here's one at 0, and these at 6. So it's these that are, this is upwelling along the edges of the North American craton. Magma's going this way and it upwells. That's what triggered this quake right here. Then, see, the computer is saying this is in a family with this, but it's not. This is different. And look where it is in Louisiana. This is our oil reserves. This is the salt mines. The 4 primaries are right here. And this is getting closer. That's background cavitation. The more of these that you get, if this becomes a swarm, boom, 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 that background cavitation definitely affects the salt mines that contain the oil, that are getting fuller and fuller of water and not oil. Now that could be that's a problem right there. So that's where we are currently. What's going on with the Earth changes? Now, threats for today. Well, since I gave you a report last. And this is probably the most important post that I've written. Again, did not expect a reply to. Thank you, Dave, for taking the initiative and then give me the heads up. This is binary star magnetic repulsion, discovered by a Canadian student. That is not talked about by NASA. That binary stars, if one's a little in the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, a lot of times they're going to have mismatched magnetic polarity, even if they're just above and just below the planes, which is the case for our sun and the remnant remains of our sun's black star, the core remains. That's why they act funny, like putting magnets together the wrong way. So that there wasn't really a picture for this post, so it was going to post without a thumbnail. I didn't like that, so this was selected to be the image post. And these are the guys, Mario and Nima and Colonel Daniel Davis, McGregor, Scott Ritter. He's one of my favorites. So they're a network of people. So when I'm writing Larry Johnson here, I'm expecting that If he sees anything that's important, he's going to share it with them, right? Is that going to happen? Don't think so. I don't feel hopeful about that. Med, bed, bombshell. Well, Marv has been sending me these forever, have you, Marv? Forever and ever. I don't report on it a lot. But at the same time, Mike sent me this post, this other post, the Burning Platform article. And I looked at one, looked at the other, and said, okay. This is, I'll share this with you guys. You guys can take the information and break it down, follow the links, do your research, and decide for yourself. That's, see my commentary down there that I'm going to say. This looks like Project Disclosure. This has Project Disclosure written all over it. That is UFO. It's a lot of things being disclosed. Researchers are coming out of the woodwork. They're being financed. It's part of it's a distraction. They haul this stuff out whenever it's needed to help control, manipulate the narrative. We're being dragged along with these different narratives. Our opinions are being molded, and we're being shaped for a false flag event. It's going to include aliens and second coming of Christ or whatever it's going to be, all coming together. That's what it feels like. That's on the one side of the coin. On the other, this stuff's real. We could have been benefiting from this for decades, like vapor plasma integrated engines, like vaporization of hydrocarbon fuels. That's been known. That was discovered by another Canadian guy back in the 1930s. If you vaporize the fuel, whether it's gas, diesel, you name it, vaporize it. All of the droplets are the same size, like nanosilver versus colloidal silver. My nanosilver is all of the particles are 5 nanometers. You don't have big ones and little ones like you get with colloidal silver. You don't have to stir it like colloidal silver. That's suspended in the distilled water. The nanosilver is different, equally spaced, that positively charged. So they're all pushing on one another, occupying equal space. Really, really cool. So that's the same thing in a cylinder that has vaporized fuel. Vaporize it. When I was a teenager, my neighbor came running to the door, knocked on the door, said, "You guys got to come see this. You got to come see this." We ran outside. This guy had his hood lifted up. They were listening to the engine. It had all these tubes in it, and it ran on water. 1970s. He's explaining to us how it worked, but the technology's been there. Now, China's coming out with one. The Tesla technology is being used more and more. We're surrounded by energy. It can be taken right out of the air around us. And there's ways of taking the water right out of the air that's all around us. These technologies are all coming together, in my view, because we're near the end. Not the end of the age, or the end of our time to be here, though. The destruction comes suddenly, like the birth pangs. They know the black star is coming. This disclosure thing is laying all this out on the table. So you take your pick your medicine. What is going to distract you? That's what it's all about. Some are going to be lured away to a rabbit hole because of this, some because of that, UFOs or whatever it is. It's all part of the distraction game. It's not to make the world better through the technology. Bissett warns endgame with Israel is near. Bissett is projecting. Trump is projecting, much like the Biden administration. What they say about Iran is happening to the United States. Iran's economy is bad. Their currency is bad. Their military has been destroyed. Everything they're saying is happening to the United States. Our military is being dismantled. They're since Ukraine. Our missiles, interceptors sent to Ukraine. Resources, billions of this, billions of that, pallets of this, pallets of that, sent to Ukraine. Weaken the West, weaken the West. That's why reason Putin didn't just go in and get the job done. because then the West is going to stop sending their aid. EU is going to stop sending their aid. They're going to stop seeing the need to build these drones, build these missiles to give to Ukraine to fight Russia. But you're making yourself weaker all the time. The United States has been weakened to the point of being feeble. Just keep your eye on Trump. He's becoming more like Biden. He's becoming more feeble all the time, reeling, backpedaling. So what's happening here, the end game with Iran, the end game is for Western civilization, not for Iran. Not by a long shot. What this guy's talking is a bunch of BS. His talking points, what you see on Maria Bartiromo and Sunday Morning Futures, BS after BS. I can't even watch it anymore. It doesn't even take a minute. False narrative, number one, false narrative, number two, it's just right off the bat, and it doesn't stop. Flip it over to Nima or Mario or Colonel Downey Davis or McGregor and start seeing the truth. Or something that's closer to the truth anyway. Related, Iran Secretary hints nuclear doctrine shift after U.S. attacks. So like North Korea, like Pakistan, like you name it. These countries, India. Countries don't get picked on that have nuclear weapons. When's the last time there was talk about taking over North Korea? Not since they had nukes. Well, Iran's the same way. That's what you get whenever you kill off the Ayatollah, the moderate, that, according to his religion, couldn't have nukes. Now, the guy that's in charge, his son, watched his father get murdered and his family. Radicals taking over, and they're going, hey, it's really in our best interest to have nukes, now that you mention it. And I still believe the day's going to come whenever they're going to admit that they've had nukes all along. Iran State TV airs threat against Trump's son, Barron. Yeah, Trump's. Everybody's being threatened. From Trump to everybody else. And the way it looks like things are going, there's talk about, I'm going to show you one of the links to one of the stories. Johnson, bought and paid for, Johnson, speaker, says, oh, we're going to keep the House. You're dreaming. And then a million years you couldn't keep the House. Even if you bought and paid for the votes, if you cheated like the Dems, you could not keep the House, nor the Senate. The anger vote's out there, and it's just going to get worse. The more they dig into Trump and all the backroom deals, all the insider trading, the corruption that's going on, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. That expect some type of October surprise in that regard, leading up to the election. They're saving, like Iran's been saving the big weapons. They haven't even used them yet. Cuba has some of those weapons from China and Russia. Then supposed ceasefire. Iran steps up weapons smuggling to Hezbollah. Yeah. So that's the narrative coming out of Israel. See, this is Israel national news. That's their propaganda. Oh, there's supposed to be a ceasefire. Yeah, but Israel never stops murdering people. And so these weapons that are coming through Iran, where do you think they're coming from? They're coming from BRICS, coming from China, Russia, some of them from the Iranians. The Houthis, where do you think they're getting their good stuff from? The new technology. They don't use GPS anymore. They use China's system. Way more accurate, and the United States can't hack it to throw them off. Iran is losing grip on Hormuz. You really think so? Zero hedge? This is propaganda. Straight traffic explodes to nearly 400%. Got my hand on my forehead here. You're dreaming. Let's see how much that affects our oil reserves being drawn down. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Pakistan invited Iran to join the newly established Mecca defense. So this defense pact, Scott Ritter is the guy to listen to on that. He'll tell you why it's a bunch of BS. But what you're seeing is people like Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia with Iran joined BRICS. They're accepted. And the official announcement was made January 2024. January 1st, 2024. They were accepted. So what Saudi Arabia is doing is because of pressure from the United States. And they don't know how to shake that old boyfriend to monkey swing over to BRICS. They just don't know how to do it. India doesn't really have, they're not doing it gracefully. They're riding the fence, but they need the United States. They need the market to keep their economy going. They're not fully with the BRICS program yet. They're making that transition though. So, yeah, Pakistan has to go along too. They have to because the Belt and Road Initiative, the train tracks running through their country, the trade they have with Iran, they have to. They're still in bed like the Saudis with the United States. So a lot of things have to happen before they can kick the United States out of bed. That's what it boils down to. But that's happening in slow. It's happening in slow motion a little bit every day. Iran-backed Houthi terrorists claim attacks. Yeah, their good stuff's coming from the same place Hezbollah's getting their good stuff from, through Iran. And the idea that any blockade against Iran is working is BS. So many different ways. When you sanction a nation like Russia or Iran for so long, they figure out ways that everything Bissett does, everything Trump does, makes it worse for the United States. The United States is being alienated through the things that they do. They're doing it on purpose, even with our neighbors, with Canada. Who would believe that Canada's going to be selling their oil, the heavy crude that China needs? They would be selling it to China instead of sending it down the pipeline to the United States. Who would ever thought that would happen? You know, China's getting ready to open the market onto this continent for their electric cars through Canada. Chances are a used car that you're going to be able to get in the future is going to be one that was delivered to Canada. That's going to make its way into the United States market. And it's going to be way cheaper than Teslas or anything like that. Chinese are way ahead. They're working on new batteries that make lithium batteries obsolete. China is so far ahead. They're doing things with big machines. I should share with you one of the videos that I just watched. They're doing 100 gigantic projects. 100. They're building buildings integrated that you latch together. Buildings that you assemble on the site. Skyscrapers. They're doing all kinds of things. The United States is so far behind. We're a third world country compared to what China's doing. Putin says Ukraine opened Pandora's box with strikes on economic targets. It's all part of the big plan. Now, Putin cannot keep his generals in line anymore. You have to go and attack. You have to end the war, end the war, end the war. But that's going to happen when the banksters say so. That's the key. The banksters are going to give him the green light to end the war whenever the West is diminished of resources. That's what's happening. Putin wants to draft 300,000 new troops, Zelensky says. Yeah, Zelensky fears that Ukraine's numbers their days are numbered. With the attacks that Russia's doing, there's like 2 stronghold cities left. And when they fall, there's going to be nothing left. They're landlocked now. Listen to McGregor and Scott Ritter and the rest of them. Scott Ritter especially. Keep you up to date on all that stuff. They do. It's fluid. It's changing all the time. But we're closer to the end of that war. It looks, I've been saying all along, Russia's going to take everything. Why leave anything on the table? Take it all of Ukraine. And then Europe better hope that Russia's happy with that and doesn't want to take more. 3 critical factors will lead to reduced food production for the rest of 2026. Yep. Global fertilizer, war in Ukraine, and Iran. Super El Nino. It's a perfect storm. That's what I've been saying too. Perfect storm that we're facing. And he doesn't even realize terror cells are here. There's millions and millions and millions of people in the United States gobbling up resources that aren't supposed to be here. And they are going to be turned against us whenever they're activated. price of diesel hit $7 a gallon in California. Massive trade war just between U.S. and Canada. Canada's going to have the last laugh on Trump. Watch and see. Day of reckoning arrives for U.S. treasuries, just as national debt reaches I read this to you earlier. It's $250 billion. Just unfunded liabilities is 200 trillion. Those are the costs that we can see. There's a lot more than that. The whole thing runs on corruption. Are the conspiracy theories about survival bunker that will be built underneath the White House actually true? Looks like a BS story to me. Looks like total BS story to me. There's resources. There's actually equipment being ordered, but they're not going to the White House or under the White House. They're going somewhere. It's part of something that's bigger, but this is a smokescreen. The White House is just over 100 miles from the ocean, 50 feet above sea level. 50 feet. Pentagon's only 33 feet above sea level. And ocean waters are going to be, that's good. That place is going to be gone. If you know the black star is coming, why do you want to be trapped under ocean? You wouldn't do that. This type of facilities, it already exists, and more can be built using our resources, using tax dollars, but it won't be there. And the other thing is Trump's gone. Trump thinks about Trump. Trump wouldn't build this here to move out of the White House. He might be impeached and be forced to leave early. Impeached and convicted and driven out of Washington, D.C. A lot of people want to see that, and a lot of those are on the right. People that can't get reelected now because Trump, non-war president, he's going to lower costs. Everything he said is a lie. People are angry. U.S. power grid faces blackout warning. One city goes dark for over a week. I hope you have your backup power sorted out. So even the picture I showed you, that inverter deal, I think it's like $1,500, $1,800 or something. Just something like that. It has its own internal battery. You can power it up from your house power and keep it charged. When the power goes out, at least you can plug your refrigerator into it. You can have minimal power and it can last you. If you get a good one, and you can buy standalone batteries. You can buy batteries that you plug into it and have, make yourself your own little system just from a little inverter system. You can get those in a lot of places. My Patriot Supply has them. AI is the greatest bubble of all time. This guy here is pretty smart. This is the silver bubble, derivatives bubble. That's going to pop. Gold, pop. Private equity, pop. The public debt, public equity, public bonds, and things like that. Then the currencies. But this AI bubble is going to be an avalanche within an avalanche whenever that happens. This is these companies, these big tech companies, NVIDIA and others, they're going round and round and round with the money. I'll buy this from you. The dogs are barking. You buy this from them, and then we're all just going to circle around with the same money, and they're making it look like, and they're creating a big giant bubble that's going to pop. So the AI, the data centers that they're building is draining us of resources, and then when the bubble pops, it's going to help collapse the whole system. So they need the data centers for AI to monitor everything that we're doing in the prison state. I know it's sick. You can't make that stuff up. I'm thinking that there's somebody must be here. I'm about to have to go check on it. Okay, my apologies for the background barking. Kind of reminds me of Scott Ritter and Colonel McGregor. They have dogs that bark in the background also. Okay. Yeah, so I got you through the newsletter top threats. This didn't make it as a post, but it is up here. Whoops. My Word doc. It's up here. Bill Gates, see it? Then secret military report warns against digital IDs and currencies. Serena Wallace. I always share her. Just remember the caveat. She'll lead you down to the deep end of the pool and drown you. Okay, Bill Gates told us the next pandemic is coming and it's going to be worse than COVID. I believe him. Stay on the nanosilver sodium borate weight chart regimen. That neutralizes all those threats: antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, any pathogen contagion period, best that I'm aware of, in combination with sodium borate, nanofilament replication inhibitor. That's what you're dealing with nanosilver and sodium borate inhibitors. That I really love an inhibitor. It stops something from happening, something that's catastrophic in this case. Secret military report warns against digital IDs and currencies. Yeah, and that the big warning is coming for Canada, but same things are happening inside the United States. The thing is, like I keep saying, the people are going to want things that they would never agree to after the collapse, after this false flag, after the collapse. On the other side, the police state is going to be coming in shortly after, and everybody's going to, not everybody, you and me aren't going to love it, but the general population is going to just love it because they're going to have some type of peace and safety. At least they think they are at first. This is the 660 million pounds of beef to import. The lower prices, what are you going to get? Hope you already have all that. Serena Wallace, Biofield Workshop. She sees the human aura as something that's the power centers in the body. She explained to you the nuts and bolts
If you shop at Dollar General,
of the
please watch this
biological
video.
weapons. Really, really good. She's going to take you on into the deep dive on the deep end, farther I'm ever going to take you. Dollar General just got caught. The Dollar General scam. All the stores are ripping us off. Well, yeah, we're being poisoned by the food. It's not good news anywhere. In their defense, just a little bit, the currency is being devalued so fast that they're pulling at straws on how to stay in business. A lot of companies are not staying in business. They're done. Lots of companies. And even they're closing McDonald's, they're closing banks, they're closing Burger Kings, Walmarts, they're closing them because we've been in contraction. Everything has to contract. There's less and less money. There's less M1, M2, there's money supply. Then GDP and diesel directly correlated. You take down the energy and you take down the GDP. That has to happen. Lower the GDP, less money made by the corporations, less money made by everybody. That means you need fewer employees. That means the whole thing contracts, goes backwards. All these pages are resetting themselves. My apologies. China hits rock bottom. Food chaos erupts. This is coming here. You just have more people crammed closer together. And the food chain breaking down. And people fighting for noodles, buns, and more. This is coming. This is coming here to the United States. You can see happening in Walmart. You're going to see happening in the parking lots. Mad Max is going to be getting his food. If you're not prepared, you're Mad Max. If you're wondering who Mad Max is, I hope you get prepared. Identify threats, create contingencies, execute. Be ready to defend. Part of getting ready is being able to defend the things that you're gathering together. The clock, 40 trillion, which is small percentage. This is Billy Hayes. A remarkable, wish you could have known him. Remarkable man. And the links, so this is what I put together. See at the bottom, this is one of my posts. See at the bottom, if you subscribe at Substack, you can sign up for $8 a month or something. $8 a month, $80 a year. You get a free Mystery Report subscription. Dropbox folder link, you get to access all the newsletters going back to 2019. You get copies of my book, the extended PDF version too, the 9/11 book. It's a great, great deal. If you're going to subscribe for $8, please hang in there for at least 3 months. A lot of people, they subscribe and then they cancel the subscription and they get my book and they get access to the newsletters. It's always a great deal, right? Yeah, God keeps tally of everything. Hang in there at least 3 payments because then you'll be close to a $25 Mystery Report subscription. You know, this is what I do for a living. And you have to pay the bills. That's why you hear that from Redacted, any of these people. You have to pay the bills. This is the best link that I have to date. Because when you go on down, there's a link to the Michael Snyder post and to others. This one link right here will help it more people. Medbed bombshell. People curing cancer, like in Star Trek. So I'm not kidding you. I was doing the research to put this together and looking around. And then did a search. So and this is what popped up. And it literally said, when I first looked at it, it said 13 minutes ago. I refreshed the page and it said 16 minutes ago. That this news was just made from war.gov.ufo. This is part of Project Disclosure. Connect those dots. This is telling me the clock is ticking down until disclosure, until the false flag. That's coming. It's going to change the world. Bigger than 9/11, way bigger than 9/11. It's going to change the whole world when it happens. President Warren's endgame with Iran. This guy here. So I look at him. I see Council on Foreign Relations working groups. I see banksters, the bankster cartel. He's spokesperson for them. Bill Gates is for Rothschild, Rockefeller, Gates eugenics. But this guy right here, he's keep the page up long enough. I gotta take a shower. This guy is really, really one of the bad guys. He'll look you right in the eye and lie to you. Putin says Ukraine opened Pandora's box. These are the top threats. Yeah, because now he can't keep his generals happy. They want to go and kill all the Ukrainians now. 3 critical factors that's going to lead to reduced food production. Diesel and food. Watch, rationing's coming. Day of reckoning for treasuries. Nobody should buy any treasuries from the United States. None. Cannot trust the Americans. Cannot trust them. Yeah, you want your money? They're going to go print up more money and give you devalued currency. Because it's not money. You can call it currency, but it's not real money. Like your silver and your gold. Survival bunker. Yeah, that's a BS story to me. Power grid. We'll see how many's on the list right now. I think there were 3 last time I looked. Greatest bubble of all time. AI bubble. People aren't talking about much. Silver Institute is wrong. Gold silver price ratio 100%. Derivative created. Yeah, the whole thing's rigged. But it's good. If silver was valued, the true value of silver is $150 to $200 right now. You can get it cheaper because it's being manipulated. The paper value of oil is way lower than it should be. It should be $150, $200 right now. People are paying that right now around the world. But the paper value numbers are what you're looking at. So you see what I mean? So if you can get it for that, get it. while you can. It's the manipulation that creates the opportunity for you. If you look at it that way, it's really, really a good thing. Whenever the banksters lose their ability to manipulate silver and oil, when they lose that, this price is going to go to the moon. So have your silver before that happens. You won't believe what he just did. I can't even remember what it was. I was seeing the beginning of that video. Walmart confirmed the worst case scenario for the economy. People are going broke, which discretionary disposable income is vanishing. The middle class is vanishing. The haves and the have-nots. That makes the haves very nervous. More and more security, more surveillance. They're going to pay for more surveillance, more security. That's what we're seeing with the Flux cameras, these Axon cameras. Gold becomes the new money. Gold has been the money. It's old money. Drones are taking over, and you're not ready. Think about it. Diesel, when you can't get diesel, when it's being rationed, what are you going to do? So if you're Amazon, how are you going to get your packages where they need to go? You're going to use a drone, and you recharge the battery from the power plant. Not good for the truck drivers that are driving the diesel trucks, is it? So if I'm working for any of those companies, FedEx, UPS, any of those, I'm not complaining. Let somebody else do the complaining and let them get laid off first. There's going to be a lower and lower number of people that are needed to deliver those packages. Biblical levels, see it? I've been saying it. Michael Snyder's been saying it. Biblical levels, insider trading, biblical. Weather, biblical. What Bissett and Trump are able to push down the paper price of the West Texas crude and Brent down $2. They're still, I mean, relatively high. They're keeping it out of the $100 range, at least on the paper. The real world is more than that. Dow Jones, 139, somewhat optimistic, and silver's being pushed down. Look at that, down to 68. That's your opportunity. I don't know if you'll see 50s again. At least it's not up in the 70s. Get it while you can, because you're going to be putting $100 in front of that. 169, we're going to be seeing. 269, we're going to be seeing. 369, we're just not there yet. So it's a gigantic spring with oil, with any commodity. Copper, any commodity is being spring loaded right now, pushed down, down, down. When it goes, it's going to spring ahead. Silver prices, Shanghai, see it, manipulated. 12 point something. And gold up $36, up 28. And silver's being pushed down. The ratio is around 68. 68 to 1, 952 213 8930. Justin is my guy. That's his cell number. If you have a lot of fiat, you're going, what am I going to do with all this fiat? That's going to be worthless. Get it into silver, man. This is your guy right here, Miles Franklin. Click on that spreadsheet right there. That's what it looks like right here. See, it was just updated. We'll see how many out of stocks we have. Still looks pretty good. Still sharing it. Terracell Binary Biological Weapon Activation Day. This is going to be the reality. The whole world's going to change. You're being played. Trump's the Pied Piper. Trying to help people to wake up. How to purchase, mix, use, and store. Here's your update. This is from the WHO. The update, they're saying COVID's not over. if it's spreading in China quite a bit, not so much here in the United States. But pandemic 2 is coming. I mean, it's coming. Everybody gets a copy of my book, The Mystery Explained, Seeing God's Wisdom Hidden in Plain Sight. Get your nano silver, subscribe, donate, whatever you do, everybody gets a copy. And there'll be a link because Gary's ready to be your tutor. Now, Gary, we talk on the phone every Saturday morning since we've known each other. And David, my David that helps with the solar system and stuff around here, he's calling and wanting Gary to tutor him. So if you want Gary to tutor you, it's important that you be reading The Mystery Explained. And generally, you're going to send him an email. Start with emails. And be on a Mystery Explained topic. 2 Gospels of the New Testament, 2 churches, 4 baptisms. That's the first 4 newsletters and the first 4 videos, the introductory videos that you're going to see. That's how you're going to want to start. So if you just start reading and you write to him, you don't know enough to ask a question yet. And questions are extremely, extremely important in any tutor program. So your teacher can tell where you're at by your line of questions. And keep it generally one question or a series of related questions under a topic. Topic goes up in the subject line, and then stick to those for that email for those questions instead of going round and round on a specific question. When you have another question, a different topic, start a new email. And then Gary's going to forward that to me, and you guys do a good job. It'll be a newsletter to help other people. EMP shield, protect your vehicle, protect your home, protect your backup power. Can't tell you how important this is. When the EMPs come, hacking's already happening at some point. EMPs. These are boring. Going to get some spot activity. I mean, that is just a few freckles on the sun. M1 flares, yawn. Average wind speed, below average density. Nothing there to report on. 5 states are in there right now. Tennessee leading the charge, 35,000 people out. Indiana's finally getting under control. Indiana's been having serious issues keeping the power on. Wildfire approaches Reno, Nevada, forcing thousands to evacuate. Somebody else wrote to me about the fires out west near Reno. There's some bad stuff happening out there. The Salt Lake's drying up, which is exposing, and not just that, it's happening out there in Southern California too. The drying up of the lake beds, particularly the Salt Lake, that exposes areas that have not been exposed. And then you get the dust, and what's in that dust is not good to be breathed by human beings. And you have he's talking about the Lake Mead collapse, 30-50% water cuts. That's happening in Arizona. The evaporation and the heat coming from the black star and the super plume is exacerbating that problem. So if you live out in that area, God help you. The threat that you see is the water shortage and the extreme hot temperatures getting hotter. The threat that you do not see is going to come across that border because Mexico City is out of water. And that problem is getting worse and worse and worse. You're talking millions and millions and millions of people that are going to be looking to find a way to survive another day. Where do you think they're going to go? You think they're going to run into cartel land down to south of them? They're going to try to escape the cartels. They're going to be taking over everything. More and more rationing, water rationing and things like that. The cartels are going to be in their glory. Well, to escape, you're going to run north. If there's a border there, you're going to find a way around it. They'll be swimming in from the ocean. And what are you going to do if you're just sitting out there where there's not enough water for too many people? Not enough food for too many people. Best get ready. This is critical. Towers hit insane lightning. A lot of people recording. Remember Canadian Prepper? He made a video. So much lightning, he just couldn't believe it. It's happening in Australia. It's happening southern hemisphere and northern hemisphere. More and more biblical stuff. Lid is breaking 4.7, weakening, and something got removed. Reporting. I'm about to have to go in and find out what's going on with the big dog again. Did Canada just sign its own economic death warrant? No. Breaking away from the United States is a smart thing to do. The United States is going to suffer from this more than Canada. Because Canada has some new buddies. BRICS buddies. China's, I told you, China's going to be the peacemaker. Didn't make sense a couple of years ago when I started saying it. Just keep watching. China is going to be the peacemaker on every continent in this world. The United States is causing problems on every continent in this world. China and BRICS, they're going to be the solution. And China is extremely patient. They're going to win. Now that's the puppets on the stage that were being shown. That's what's happening. BRICS taking over economic, military, and currency hegemony from the United States. That's what's happening. But all the haves are going to underground cities. And the have-nots are going to be left on the surface. So you have to admit, it's a pretty good show that they're giving us. The Canada foolish to get in a trade war with Trump? No, Canadians are smart. Trump's going to come crawling with everything that Canada makes. China needs. BRICS needs it. Everything that Trump is doing, everything business doing, is creating boundaries around the United States. We're being pushed into the corner. And the Canadians, I think they're smart to get out of it. There's a lot of things going wrong in Canada, don't get me wrong, on that part. But economically, if they stick to their guns and they pipeline their oil to the coast and ship it to China, to BRICS, I think that's the smartest thing they can do. Not good, again, not good for the United States. But they have the heavy type crude that we need. And Trump thinks he's going to keep getting it from Venezuela. Watch. That showdown hasn't happened yet. But it's going to. And the United States is going to come up empty with Venezuela too. And with Cuba, of all countries. That's how I see it shaking out. Iran-linked hackers blamed for cyber attack to shut down the UK power plant. I'd be more inclined to believe, easy to blame it on Iran, but the NSA has super intelligence networks, super AI. They know everything about everything that happens in the world. You're not seeing about the NSA report about this, are you? They have contractors and subcontractors and free agent operatives and assets. They have a network. That's where the real threat is. Not from Iran, because they can't do anything without being detected by the global intelligence community. But they're all working against you and me. The NSA is working with them. The Iranians, the techies, super duper, real brilliant, bright people with Iran, they're working in that network. So the false flag that's coming is going to be disguised. It's going to be done by the NSA. They're going to make it look like somebody else. That's what a false flag is. Israel warns Hamas, stop launching kites or face more strikes. And good luck with that. So the type of warfare, asymmetric warfare, from Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis and the Iranians, that's the future. And even the Ukrainians Ukraine is it's a little dog trying to fight a beast. And they just don't have what it takes to fight a war of attrition with Russia. If you're going to pick on somebody to fight with, don't pick the biggest country in the world. That's right there on your doorstep. Not a smart move. Russia's going to come out on top of that, which I've been saying that from the beginning. They're looking kind of foolish. Scott Ritter's looking kind of foolish because we thought it was going to happen in a week, 3 days or something. It could have. But I didn't see then, and Scott Ritter didn't see then, that Ukraine was going to be used to weaken the West. Now that job's just about finished. Margaret's being told not to rape people. Stop raping people. In the mission, the UK has serious problems. Can you believe that? Stop raping people. Switzerland, 80.5% of North African asylum seekers have been accused of one or more crimes. That's pretty common. If you're going to cross somebody's border illegally, break their laws, steal a job from a citizen, where's the line? And when you start killing people, you start raping people, then it's just a number. If you rape one or rape 1,000, lawlessness is everywhere. That's just a symptom to me. Chinese Christian detained after listening to Bible in his car. You can't be listening to your Bible in your car in China. You should know better. The gospel was sent to Seventh-day people. When it says the gospel is going to go to the whole world, it's talking about the gospel of the kingdom. It's talking about the end of the age. It's Matthew 24:14. And then the end will come. The end of the age will come. Well, we're 3,600 years from that. But what that means is the gospel is sent to seventh. You have to be a Seventh-day person for that. Sent to Chinese are Six-day people. RH positive exclusive, 99% all the same. American Indian, 99 RH positive. Native Indians out in the Amazon, same thing. That gospel isn't sent to them. They are from Genesis 1, 26 through 28, evolved from the waters of Genesis 1:20. Evolved. They've been here for a long, 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 long time. Seventh-day people only for about 12,500 years. That's where the RH negative blood came from. Speaker Johnson, who I have no regard for. High expectations, just very, very disappointed. It's a race between common sense and crazy. You better not bet against the House Republicans. I wouldn't vote for any of you guys one way or the other, but the anger vote is going to overwhelm the Republicans. That's pretty easy to see. Healthy 26-year-old, you see this story? Bought his own May drugs, then was killed at a funeral home. He checked out. That is an option. This kid right here filled out the form, got the drugs, and said, well, just skip the mortician, skip all that, and I'll just do it at the nursing home. Thought everything through, which tells you he's not insane. Insane person couldn't connect all the dots. Fill out the application, show up at the. No, that shows you how crazy things are getting. Tens of thousands in Northwest Indiana forced to survival mode. They endured ninth day without power. So you're paying attention to my reports, and I'm telling you, get your power backup, get EMP pulse protector for your backup power. You guys are ahead of the game than those that are unprepared. Prepare yourself to defend yourself against those who are not prepared. That'll make sense whenever the thing collapses and their power doesn't come back on. Trump faces, this is the Midas Touch guys, the three amigos. Severe backlash, DC stunt backfires. Business dark past exposed. The D-Day order blows up. Yeah, the financial Armageddon for everybody. So the world, there's something wrong with weaponizing your currency, weaponizing tariffs, that's something wrong with that. That says the United States is not worthy of being the world reserve currency. That reality is sinking in. Hence, people are not going to want to buy our bonds. And the Fed buying our bonds, hand over forehead. That should not, nobody in the world should tolerate that. You don't just create money out of thin air. The Fed shouldn't even be printing any money, period. They're a private corporation. That's the duty of our Congress. even if they print it and put the Fed's name on it, and they have electronic printing machines. God help the United States. We deserve to be destroyed. Trump's Iran war, his disasters, breaking point. Gee, one of my favorites these days. And this is on the Young Turks. There's a debate here. Where is it? There's a debate here somewhere. I'm not seeing it. Anna's going to be turned loose on somebody. This gal right here, if you haven't seen her yet, she's a terrier, man. She's debating somebody. I'm going to find it before the end of the day. Pretty sure it was on this channel right here. It might be a members only thing. Could be. Jeffrey Sachs. The war on Russia and Iran is breaking west. Well, the West asked for it. The tables are turned in Iran, a surrogate, BRICS surrogate, to destroy the West. That's exactly what the doctor ordered, according to the global banksters. No, here it is right here. Heated debate. This is at 2:05 p.m. Yeah, if I refresh this, see, this has already happened now. Yeah, here it is right here. Right here. That little gal right there, 40 years old, just turned. She's 90 pounds or whatever she is. Ferocious. I haven't seen what she's done to this guy yet. I can't wait. Can't wait to see it. She's like a woman scorned. She has that about a Democrat scorned. The progressive, she woke up with the progressive left. She's like, oh my God, what am I doing here? So she runs to the middle, and then she starts interviewing Colonel Daniel Davis and McGregor. And she praises up and down whenever she has them on. Then Scott Ritter interviews her. You know that if Scott Ritter, if the Colonel here, Daniel Davis, interviews Anna Kasparian, you know that there's something going on there. She's seeing the light. Right now it's with Scott Ritter. I'm looking forward to that too. Little Anna Kasparian. She's the reason I watched the Young Turks. The chink guy, difficult to listen to for me. Larry Johnson, we'll see if we hear from him. U.S. targets Iran oil. I like these guys. I like Larry Johnson. And for me, going through the 9/11 inside job and doing the research, I never trusted an ex-CIA. None of them could be trusted. There's no such thing as like an ex-mafia guy. You can't trust an ex-mafia guy. They never get out. The mafia, you can't get out. They can be sent out. They can be deployed to manipulate narratives. They keep people occupied, keep them looking over here when instead of they're not looking over there, type of thing. I hate to think that about Larry. Him and his twirling his cigar and very likable. That's kind of the way that operatives act. No, don't want to throw shade on him. He's still a great resource. Operatives are the best resources. Yes, I'm saying that I don't really expect him, like Michael Snyder. I'm not saying that about him either. I'm not expecting them to wake up one day and go, you know what, you're right. Black stars, I don't expect that. I expect to be in the shadows till the black star gets there. We'll see. You could be hearing about it from this university. If the medical project takes off, that is going to change the world. Remote control surgery that AI can do on board systems, military applications, really, really change the world. And we'll see if we're able to get anything like that going before the black star gets there. If I can get it going, and there are low-tech methods that can be used right now today from an association of doctors that we would sign up and train and certify, that if that can get going, then and it could become profitable because it's a multi-billion-dollar project, then I would buy the cave and set it up for us, and there would be no charge to be a member. There's going to be screening, just anybody can't come, But I see people having strengths, us working together, and from the greatest to the least among us, we all have something to contribute. And that's what a group needs that's going to be successful, from the biggest to the smallest. Sometimes it's the littlest pinky among us that's needed for the job. So I've learned that in doing this work over the years. We just crossed the point of no return. I just crossed the 2 minute mark, the 2 hour mark. Point of no return. Remember the the dark about the industry. He's talking about a lot of the things that I share with you guys. I won't talk a lot about candidates, but here's catastrophes coming. Diesel fuel, like I've been saying. So that's what I mean. McGregor, these other guys, Larry Johnson, they are hitting the topics, the threats. Americans are being lied to again, and it's worse than you think. Nursing, changing nursing forever. They're talking about bidding for certain tasks, bidding for certain hours. And think about that. You're going to have a heart operation, and the people that are there are the lowest bidders. You can't make this stuff up. Millions of Americans are convinced, see, she's back. I hung in there with her until she came back. These, I'm telling you, these grocery stores, you can't get mad at them. Check your receipts. You can't get mad at them because they're working with the same deck of cards you are. Devalued currency. It's being devalued every single day. It's down in value. Every morning you wake up, your currency is worth less and less and less and less and less. So I'm saying get it into something that you need to survive while it's still worth something. 300 applications, 0 callbacks. People with degrees. I listen to their stories. This guy has a bachelor's, he has a master's, he's applied everywhere. He's applying at 7-Eleven, everywhere. He can't get hired anywhere. That's what's happening to people. Watch out, all governments are agreeing. You're hearing more anticipation. You're hearing more emergency and the voices of all these guys, but Steve Poplar especially. He's making the connection to all these stories going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Is the economy falling apart or it's falling off the cliff or being pushed? Yeah, the banksters are pushing it right off the cliff. Third world beef. I don't want to eat any third world beef, thank you. 9 meals to anarchy or from anarchy. Have you heard this? 3 days. When the trucks don't ship anymore, because stores run out, 3 days later, Mad Max is going to be hungry. And this has happened before. The collapse of nations, the currency collapses. I can tell you what Mad Max is going to do. The gangs, the cartels, they're here in the United States. They have grow farms. They are here, man. Hiding in plain sight. They're paying people off. And they're going to go first attack the sheriff's offices and the police stations. It's going to be a concerted attack them all at the same time deal. And when they're taken out of the way, then they're going to go to the banks. They're going to go to the armories. And then they're going to start going in a systematic fashion. They're going to go to the richest neighborhoods and work their way down. And they're going to go down the street, house to house. And they're going to take everything. They're going to tie the people up and take all the food. And they're going to do that at the beginning. And at some point, they're going to take all the food and then they're going to be forced to eat the people. I'm sorry for the bad report, but that's what they do. This has happened before. No traps, no poison. Take a guess what Elias uses to kill the moles in his yard. Cotton ball. A cotton ball with his little elixir here. Check him out. So generally, because we had them here, then you treat for the grubs and they move on. The which I don't really like doing. I don't like using the poison, but that's pretty much what we have to do around here. But now I know about the cotton ball deal. Maybe I'll try that instead. And the thing about the moles, they do move on. They migrate. Red flashing, red lights flashing everywhere. That's the fact, everywhere. That's why I said this morning in the cross post. Warning signs are everywhere. If you can't see them, you're desensitized. You're that frog. And you're going, hey man, the water's just fine. And you're going to be saying that right up into the time it boils. Bond buyers losing confidence. No kidding. Is that an understatement? Where do you think they're going to go? You hear Mario, you hear what he said? Mario, like he's a multimillionaire. He's over 100 millionaire, 133 million or something. He likes he didn't never believed in gold, silver, anything like that. He likes to take his money and start businesses, especially at the beginning. That's really the smart, really smart thing to do whenever the economies are growing. You take an entrepreneur like that, you can provide the seed money and start the company, and then you can sell the company when it's on the upswing. And you can double, triple, quadruple, multiply your money by 100 times. That's what he did. In this type of economy, not so much. And real estate, not so much now either. Because Mad Max is going to wind up getting your property and eating your renters. Wing Chun defense, need to master. This guy is really, really going to help you. He likes to work with children and with women, like smaller people, to show you how to defend yourself against a bigger person. And then be careful because a lot of times the smaller person has the advantage. You wouldn't think so, but a lot of times the smallest guy has the advantage. So one of the most impressive bouts that I ever saw were my family's competitors, but it was in the Olympics. And two people were undefeated. They came together at the end in the gold match. And it was a 6'4" guy against a 5'8" guy. And that 5'8" guy whipped the guy's tail that never scored a point on him. Sometimes the small guy has the advantage. The master here, he's going to show you how to get the advantage. If you're a lady, if you're a kid, he can show you how to have the advantage. So that's what I'm saying. Be careful because you're accustomed to being the small guy. You know, if you're a lady, it's that small guy you got to worry about. Even when you're trained, you don't underestimate the small guy ever. That's the guy that you don't expect. You overextend, you get over aggressive, you overreach, and he all of a sudden has you before you even know it. I'm done doomsday prepping. He's doing this instead. This guy right here. So my mom was not a doomsday prepper. My mom didn't believe in prepping. To give you an idea how people like my mother, she was raised in the country and the way that the people think back then. If you ever heard the story, my mom kept saying, how come you're getting silver and food? Why are you doing that? You don't need to do that. Son, we got plenty of guns. That was her strategy. Because if we're not going to starve, we don't need silver. We don't need any of that. If we need it, we're going to get it. Don't worry about that. A lot of people feel that way. My mother felt that way. Yeah, a lot of people feel that way. Those are the people you have to worry about. You're looking at them right now. You just don't know it. Those are the people you need to worry about. Whenever peanut butter hits the fan and it comes to they know you got stuff and they need stuff, they're going to be showing up your house. It's going to be real hard to tell them no. They're going to make it that way. That you need to prepare for as much as preparing the stuff that you're getting. Russia mobilizes World War III, which means they got the memo from the global bankster cartel. Things are getting ready to step up. I see September as a transitional month, and then there's going to be a big October surprise. That could be when the false flag happens. But watch the month of September, transitional time. We get the outside order position around 9/11, and the world's going to change when that happens. Going right through 9/11 this time. Why you should bury your cotton underwear in the garden. I wonder if it's because of the moles. I haven't looked at this yet. That's kind of funny. And that's it. Monday report. I'll get to many of your emails I wasn't able to answer this morning, doing all this other stuff, but I will, and I'll share that in tomorrow's report. And that's all I can think to share with you. Make sure that you have your nano silver orders in. Take advantage of this while you can. If you listen to Nate or Canadian Prepper, he's warning people, medicine, 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 and medicine has expiration dates on it. Your nano silver does not have an expiration date. Kept in the dark, a 20-year shelf life is what Doug said in the documentation. But to me, he said it'll last from now on. Because of the charge in the bottle, the positive charge, the negative charge of the bottle, and the lining of the nano silver, it stays good in a dark place at room temperature. Optimum storage temperature is around 40 degrees, by the way, but like in the refrigerator. But at room temperature, kept in the dark, it's good from now on. You can't say that about anything in your medicine cabinet. So what you're going to do when you need an antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, get your nanosilver at the special rate while you can. Cut off 8 a.m. Central Time on Friday. And that's it. Appreciate your support very, very much. Get more information right at terror03.com. I'll see you on the next Black Star Update report.